Hi everyone, this is Nia and today I'm going to share my experience of my full week of painting with oil through the Evolve Artist program. This is an online painting course where you follow video instructions, which makes this attainable for people all over the world to receive this education. But what makes them different? That was my first question when they first reached out to me. Prior to them contacting me, I have not heard of them before, so I did a bit of research myself by looking through their website and also past reviews. Right from their website, I can already see the professionalism, and it also gives you a rough idea of the course by showing student work as well as examples of their exercises. And I just found that the course was very interesting, which is why I decided to give this a go. So, just to make this clear, this video is sponsored by Evolve Artist. Don't let this put you off though, because I would not have taken up the offer if I didn't believe in their program after doing my own research. I was genuinely interested right from the beginning, and the experience that I had was definitely worthwhile. Despite only trying a small snippet of their first few exercises, I've already found the benefits as well as learned new things that I needed. So I just want to share this experience with you in the hope that this might help you out through your art journey as well. Before I began this course, the first thing they sent to me was the quality painting supplies that you'll need for the course. This is shipped worldwide and it was quick to arrive even if I live on the other side of the world. This huge box of supplies is sent for free, and you can be assured that they've picked out the finest quality supplies for all the students to use right from the beginning of the course. I like that they do this as the start to give all the students the same starting point, so there are no accidents of getting the wrong quality paint or brushes, which might have different quality or feel to what the teacher uses. And this way, it also lessens the probability of making mistakes, which could be avoided from the start. So I thought that this was such a great idea. They wanted me to try the first few exercises, and for that, they sent me this first kit, which has 4 value monochrome paint, along with canvas sheets, exercise sheets, oils, and many more. Through the short experience that I had with Evolve, for me, Evolve Artist is very special. It's different, and it's actually what I personally look for or expected when I go to an art school or university, but I never did. And I'll explain this along the way as I go. As most of you know, I don't actually have a degree in fine arts. I did art all throughout high school, including as my elective, but all throughout high school as well as university, a lot of the classes and lessons were based on conceptual thinking. So we only brushed on the fundamentals and technicalities in the very basic level. And even then, it wasn't enough. And I thought that it was so weird just to jump straight into conceptual thinking, because without these fundamentals, how can you maximize the execution of your design or illustrations in the end? Creative thinking is part of the process, but without the fundamentals, execution would be very difficult. Everything I know now in terms of fundamentals are mostly from experience and searching myself through different videos or just pure practice in order to get where I am with my illustration. On top of this, though I continue to learn and look for new things to learn, I always felt like I need help understanding values and light, as I've mentioned before in one of my Q&As. And interestingly enough, Evolve actually starts with values, lights, and shadows, which sparked my interest to try this course out. I've never heard of this approach or method before, as a lot of us usually start by drawing, but at the same time, it made sense to me for some reason to study simplified form of values. So here I am trying the first few exercises, and I'll slowly explain to you about this curriculum and method which I find so useful and unique. The Evolve Artist curriculum is divided into blocks, and within those blocks, there are a lot of exercises. I tried block 1 and the first 4 exercises. Here, Kevin explains to us that there are usually 11 values, but here they've simplified it into just 4, which is the extreme shadow, moderate light, and extreme light. Kevin mentioned how he likes to take away extra clutter so students can learn as effectively as possible. And one of the ways to declutter was to take away the 11 values and turn it into just 4. I was told that Evolve also started teaching the fundamentals through drawing at first, just like any other art courses, but later tried a new method by starting with values, then continue on with drawing. And they said that the students seem to progress quicker this way, which is why they've put this curriculum together. The first exercise was very simple. It's just to fill in the squares using these colors as neatly as you can to get clean, sharp edges with the ideal paint density. This is so students can get acquainted with their brushes as well as understanding the consistency of paint as we loosen the paint with oil. With this simplicity, though, comes discipline of the basics. Kevin was very detailed and concise with his explanations that it might seem rigid at first, like why would you need all these steps just to paint squares? But I personally think that this is to get us into having good habit right from the beginning. From my experience in learning music, my teacher once told me that you have to learn the right habit from the beginning because breaking a bad habit is much harder than learning something correctly from the beginning. And this experience completely reminded me of this concept. This course is about learning as efficiently as possible, as it is mentioned several times. And if breaking a bad habit takes longer to fix, this is why discipline is pushed right from the beginning in order for students to learn and make the correct habit from the start to limit the bad and wrong habit that we would otherwise develop and accumulate as we go. This class was so thoroughly made down to the drop of oil that you need to mix with your paint, how you should tape down the canvas, and there's even a method to how to paint these squares. Funny enough, this is actually a very similar method to how I teach my private students who are still kids to color as beginners to get them into the right habit. From the exercises that I've taken so far, though it might seem tedious at first if you're not used to painting with discipline, I'm very sure that everything is done for a purpose. And sometimes to have all those instructions, personally, for me anyway, I find it actually very relaxing because the decisions have been made for me on what to do. And all I had to do was follow the instructions instead of giving instructions for once. So it was nice to have the guidance. The divided lessons were also paced very well at the rate where you can take in information quickly, and if you've missed certain details, you can always go back to those lessons and rewatch it, which is a plus for these online courses. Evolve also provides live classes or lessons, which you can check out in the events tab, so you can take part in any of these lessons to suit your schedule. However, if you've missed it, it will still be provided for all students as recordings, so you won't miss out. I've also read that some students, even when they've progressed far into the more advanced blocks, sometimes they like to go back and rewatch some of the earlier classes and lessons, and they've found that they've missed certain information because at that point of watching, they did not have the context of where the lesson was going yet because of their lack of experience from the start. But the more you know about painting, the more you realize how important the basics are. And I love that these classes will stay accessible for you, even if you've progressed very far into the blocks. If you guys enjoy my step-by-step method of teaching, then I can assure you that you'll probably love this Evolve curriculum. I can say that this is suited for beginners, and even if you're a beginner, you can get professional results. These are student works. They look so professional, but these are done by students and is part of the course. The block 4 that I'm showing you here, these professional looking paintings, can be reached within a year, and it's just so amazing. Before doing the course, I did not understand how that's even possible, but after doing these short exercises, I can start to see an overview of how this would develop so quickly by the way they've broken down the process of learning. From the first exercise of painting the simple squares, we then moved to gradients. The simple squares was to understand how to create crisp edges, and the gradients are there to create soft edges. You'd be amazed at how much better you can paint just by understanding the simple concepts alone. After learning about the edges, then we applied the techniques creating three-dimensional paintings. First, just with the sharp edges to paint these boxes, then using both the soft and the sharp edge to create the sphere. Despite how simple these exercises look, it will take longer than you anticipate, at least for me anyway, who's used to the quick flow of watercolors. But Kevin also mentioned that if you don't enjoy the process, then painting might not be for you because it's not just about anticipating the good result, but also enjoying the process of painting before you reach the final result. This is not one of those things where you can just aimlessly rush through the course and call it done, because at Evolve, you are actually required to hand in your exercise and receive constructive feedback, just like in a class environment. Once you get given the feedback, that's when the next videos will be available for you to watch, and then you can move on to the next exercise while applying what you've been told as feedback from the previous exercise. All the students are guaranteed to get feedback every 24 hours, so students are completely in control of the progress that they make throughout the exercises of the course. So even if this is an online course, you're still able to get the supervision that you need as a student, and you are continuously being guided throughout the course. Evolve also provides scheduled one-on-one call with Piper, who's the head instructor of Evolve, in case you need extra feedback and ask her anything you might be missing or finding difficult with. During my scheduled meeting with her, she was so helpful and thorough with answering all the questions I had, since I'm still very new to oil, and she was also very friendly, which made the experience very enjoyable for me. With online courses, one thing that might be missing might be the class environment where you can paint and share your thoughts together with other peers. But Evolve actually provides you with a private group with all the other Evolve students, so there's still a sense of community, even if they're located all around the world. If anything, I feel like this is a great opportunity to build your connection with other students, where you can work through your struggles together, and instead of just interacting with the people from your class, you're able to interact easily with everyone at all different stages of the course. The Facebook group is very active, and they also have study groups where you can join and paint together with other students, creating a virtual studio environment, which is a very cool idea. And I personally loved reading all the students' posts. It just seems like a really supporting and warm environment. Before trying out the Evolve course, I used to think, why is art fundamentals lacking in structure compared to other subjects like maybe math, science, or music, which is also a form of art? There's a set of courses and grades when it comes to music where you learn the fundamentals along the way, but with art, it seems so scattered, at least with the experience that I've had from school or from university. Evolve is really the first time I've ever felt a sense of structure within how art is broken down into logical explanations. And I've honestly really enjoyed my time trying out these exercises. And I'm actually interested in moving forward with my exercises once I manage to get back on track with my schedule again. I would highly, highly recommend this course to whoever is serious about learning the fundamentals of art. This is more of a classical and realistic painting approach, and I think this is a necessity in order for you to find your style in the end. To me, I feel like you need to learn the fundamentals before you can move to finding a more simplistic style, which means you simplify with the purpose of simplification, not because you just don't know how to paint fundamentally, but because it's a chosen style that you've decided to take on. And simplifying your painting is also part of the course. So if you're serious about learning art as more than just a hobby, I would definitely be happy to recommend taking the Evolve course. As a generous offer from Evolve Artists, the first 10 people to sign up using my coupon code NYANYANY100 will get $100 off the Evolve course, which I'll leave the link in my description box. So that's it for today's video. I hope this serves as information for those of you who might be thinking of going to art school, or who's thinking of taking art a bit more seriously as more than just a hobby. And I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye!